Good afternoon, students. We are learning the chapter number 10, that is the state of matter, gases and liquid state. We have to study in this chapter. Now, we are learning the intermolecular forces. In last two to three lectures, I taught you about the intermolecular forces. 5 types of intermolecular forces are there. That is the dipole-dipole interaction, dipole-ion interaction, hydrogen bonding, then that is the again induced dipole interaction. Such type of intermolecular forces we already learned in the last lectures. Now today we are going to learn about the intermolecular forces and thermal energy. Now you very well know about the intermolecular forces. Now this thermal energy, that is, it is related with that of the heat or temperature. Now thermal energy is the measure of kinetic energy, because as the temperature increases, kinetic energy also increases. Kinetic energy increases means thermal energy increases. So thermal energy is the measure of kinetic energy of the particles of the matter that arises due to the movement of particles. Kinetic energy arises due to the movement of particles. There are the 3 types of movement: rotational movement, vibrational movement, translational movement, and due to that the kinetic energy also increases. And this kinetic energy or thermal energy is directly proportional to the temperature. That means thermal energy increases with increase in temperature. If the intermolecular forces are very weak between the molecules, then such substances, if they are present in the gaseous state, they are difficult to liquefy or solidify. So, if the intermolecular forces are very weak, molecules do not come together to make liquid or solid unless thermal energy is decreased by lowering the temperature. Until we do not lower the temperature by decreasing the thermal energy, the gaseous molecules do not convert into the liquid or solid. So to convert the gas into the liquid and solid, the molecules of gases we have to come close each other. Then there must be decrease in the thermal energy by lowering the temperature. Now this therefore as the intermolecular forces increases, into that, see here, the gas is converted into liquid and liquid is converted into solid. If there is the strong interaction, strong intermolecular forces, as gas converts into liquid to solid, the intermolecular forces increases. But at the same time, when the gas converts into liquid and liquid converts into solid, the thermal energy decreases. Now, let us learn about some properties of the gases. Now, first learn about the characteristic properties of the gases. There are the characteristics properties of the gases and measurable properties of the gases also. Now, characteristic properties are very simple. That is, gases are lighter than solids and liquids and they possess the low density. Again, the second characteristic properties of gas is that gases do not possess a fixed volume and fixed shape. They occupy entire space available and take the shape of the container. Again, gaseous molecules are widely separated and are in continuous random motion. Therefore, gases exert pressure equally in all directions due to the collision of gas molecules on the walls of the container. Gases, when in a random continuous motion, they collide on the walls of the container and there is the collision motion, and due to that the pressure is exerted on the walls of the container. In case of gases, intermolecular forces are very weak, that is weakest. In case of gas molecule, intermolecular forces are very big. That is the weakest. Gases possess the property of diffusion. You know the diffusion, which is the spontaneous, homogeneous intermixing of two or more gases. Due to that diffusion, air is the mixture of different gases. So the spontaneous diffusion or spontaneous homogeneous diffusion between the two or more gases is called as the diffusion. So gases possess the property of diffusion, which is the spontaneous homogeneous intermixing of two or more gases. And due to that, what happen if we that is lighten the fragrant stick in one corner of the room, we can experience the smell, that is the very beautiful and pleasant smell to the other corner of the room also, and this is possible due to the phenomena of diffusion. So gases possess the phenomena or property, that is the diffusion, that is intermixing, though irrespective of their densities. Again, gases are highly compressible. If we apply the pressure on the gas, the volume of the gas decreases, but that is not happen in solids or liquids. So solids and liquids are non-compressible, but gases are the very compressible. Now let us learn about the measurable properties of the gas. And the first measurable property of the gas is the mass. Do you know gases also have the mass? We can measure the mass of the gas by filling it into the balloon. First take the weight of the empty balloon, then fill the balloon with the gas, which we have to measure its mass, and then after sealing that balloon, we can measure the weight of the filled balloon, gas filled balloon, and if we subtract the weight of the balloon from that gas filled balloon, we obtain the mass of the gas. In this way, mass of the gas can be measured. Now, the SI unit of the mass of gas also is kilogram. And we know that 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 gram, that is 10 raised to 3 grams. Now, mass of the gas is always related to the number of moles of the gases. Then how the number of moles are calculated? There are the three different expressions to calculate the number of moles of the gases. Now N is equal to number of mole of gases is equal to mass in gram, mass of the gas in gram, that is the given mass of the gas in gram divided by molar mass of that gas in gram. For example, if we have given 1 gram of the hydrogen gas and we have to calculate the number of moles of hydrogen, then what we have to do? Just that is the 1 gram divided by molar mass of hydrogen gas, that is the 2 gram, and therefore number of moles N is equal to 1 divided by 2, that is equal to 0.5, because the molar mass, molecular mass of hydrogen gas is 2, and in this way we can calculate the number of moles of the gas, any gas. Now again the number of moles can be calculated in this way. N is equal to number of molecules. The number of moles of gas can be calculated as the number of molecules of the given gas divided by Avogadro's number. So capital N divided by Nm is Avogadro's number. The value of the Avogadro number is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. So number of molecules divided by Avogadro number also gives the number of moles of the gas. And the third expression to calculate the number of moles of the gas is the volume of the given gas in liter at STP. STP means standard temperature pressure. The standard temperature is 25 degrees centigrade to 98 Kelvin or 0 degrees centigrade to 73 Kelvin, and standard pressure is of 1 atmosphere. And the volume is given of that gas. If the volume is given of that gas, then the volume of the gas in liter at STP divided by 22.414 liters at STP. Now this 22.414 is the gram molar volume. That is the volume of 1 mole of any gas at standard temperature pressure. And therefore volume of the given gas in liter divided by 22.414 liters at STP also gives the number of moles of the gas. Now this is about the first measurable property of the gas, that is the mass. Now the second measurable property, that is the volume of the gas. Now gases have the volume, we know that. The volume of the gas is the volume in which that gas is filled. That is the container. The volume of the container is the volume of the gas. So, volume of a gas is measured in different units like liters, milliliters, cubic centimeters, cm cube, cubic meter, meter cube. But most commonly used unit is the decimeter cube, that is the dm cube. And 1 decimeter cube is equal to 1 liter. Remember that. 1 liter means 1 decimeter cube. Now we know that 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliter or 1000 centimeter cube. Now all these are equal. 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliter is equal to 1000 cubic centimeter or is equal to 1 decimeter cube. Now there is also the volume of the gas is measured in meter cube also. So 1 meter cube is equal to 10 raised to 3 decimeter cube. Now this is the large unit, meter cube, that is nearly about 10 raised to 3 decimeter cube or 10 raised to 3 liters or 10 raised to 3 liters is equal to 1 meter cube. And if it converted into the centimeter cube, again multiplied by 1000, that becomes 10 raised to 6 centimeter cube or centimeter cube means milliliter, so it is equal to 10 raised to 6 milliliter. Now this is the large unit of the volume of the gas, that is the meter cube, and these are the conversion. 1 meter cube is equal to 10 raised to 3 decimeter cube or 10 raised to 3 liter or 10 raised to 6 centimeter cube or 10 raised to 6 milliliter. Now let us see the third measurable property of the gas, that is about the pressure. Pressure is the third measurable property of the gas. Now pressure is defined as force per unit volume. What is the definition of force? So pressure, what is the definition of pressure? Pressure is defined as force per unit volume. F divided by A is nothing but the pressure P. Now the pressure of the gas is measured by the apparatus, that is the manometer and barometer. Barometer is used to measure the atmospheric pressure, that is the external pressure, and manometer is used to measure the internal pressure of the gas, that is in the container. Now there are the SI unit of pressure is the Pascal. Pascal is the SI unit of the pressure. Remember that. Pascal is the SI unit of the pressure. Now see how there are the conversion of the different units of the pressure. Now see the SI unit of pressure is Pascal and it is equal, Pascal is nothing but Newton per meter square. 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton per meter square. 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton per meter square. And 1 Newton per meter square is nothing but 1 kilo per that is meter per second square or per square second. Now this is the name Newton per meter square is given by after the scientist Newton, but 1 Newton per meter square means 1 kilogram per meter per second square. Now there is again the large unit to measure the pressure, that is the bar. 1 bar is equal to 1 into 10 raised to 5 Pascal. 1 bar is equal to 1 into 10 raised to 5 Pascal or 1 bar is equal to 1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. Again their pressure is expressed in atmosphere also. So 1 atmosphere is equal to 76 centimeter of Hg, that is the mercury column, or it is equal to 760 millimeter of Hg, because 10 millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter. So 76 centimeter of Hg means 760 millimeter of Hg, that is nothing but the 1 atmospheric pressure, and it is also given as 760 torr. Because 1 torr is equal to 1 millimeter of Hg. So 1 torr is equal to 1 millimeter. So 760 millimeter of Hg is equal to 760 torr, or it is equal to 1 atmosphere. Now again, 1 atmosphere is equal to 101.325 kilopascal. Now this is again the unit which is mostly used in the calculation of the pressure of the gas. That is, the 1 atmospheric pressure is equal to 101.325 kilopascal, and that is nothing but that is about this 101.325 pascal, and that is equal to 1.01325 × 10⁵ Newton per meter square, or it is equal to 1.01325 bar. Now these are the different units to measure the pressure of the gases. Now this is about the third, that is the measurable property of the pressure. If you like this video, student, you can share and tell the other student to share and subscribe and like. Thank you.